Hello. Well, my goodness. I hadn't quite worked it out, but hopefully we're now live. I think some people are there. I really haven't done a live where there's anyone else online with me. So I'm just giving us time to work it all out, or for me to work it all out. But welcome, and yeah, relax. There's nothing to do here. Hopefully this will be a beautiful hour for us to enjoy each other's energy, to take space from the world, to really soothe ourselves and rejuvenate, listen to some nice music. And the theme tonight is going to be about balancing our male and female energy. So as I've rushed to get everything set up this evening, I'm reminding myself to balance myself out, all that focus, all that do energy that we're so used to having, you know, with the moon cycle. We're learning to balance that out with some feminine. So I invite you, if you're there, say hi, let me know who's there. But also just to be tuning into your belly and really arriving in the moment, letting yourself be, just breathing in the feminine, feeling yourself on the earth. Let gravity bring you down into your body, out of your mind, out of your busy day, whatever time of the day it is where you are in the world, down into your body, into your feet, into your roots, and into Mother Earth. And we're just going to sit downing our energy, putting ourselves down into the earth just for the next few minutes while we wait and see who's joining us. Just keep breathing, keep releasing, bringing yourself into the body, welcoming yourself into the here and now, into this Moonwash gathering of women from around the world. All women that are looking to align with their nature, to natural cycles, and to giving themselves what they really are craving for from the outside. So just going to wait a few moments to see who joins us. Everything's meant to be. As we settle down, give ourselves a moment. Say hi if you want to. And if any point during the next hour you have questions, I invite you just to write those down, and I will invite you to ask those a little bit later on. There'll be lots and lots of time. If there's really something you're really stuck on, just write, please now, answer me now. I don't understand, because I don't want you to wait till the end and miss out on information. But if it's something you're just thinking about and curious about, just jot it down, and either write to me in the comments. I think they're perhaps down there for you, maybe down there. Say something, it says. Write them down there when I invite you for questions, because I won't be able to see them if they've been written in the past. Everything's live. So once I invite you for questions, let me know. If it's urgent, say urgent, need something, need an answer now. Or if you want to stay anonymous, then I invite you just to email me at a later time, and connect at a later time. So meanwhile, be soothed by the music. This is from a Spotify playlist called the Moonwash Sounds, if you want to tune in to what I tune into, particularly over the dark moon, the women's ancient feminine retreat time where women would all menstruate together, which we've been kind of disconnected from. Play this kind of music, bring myself back into the body. So feel your feet on the ground, keep bringing yourself in. Say bye-bye, world. Come into your body. I need you to be present. I need you to be able to feel. This is a safe, private space. Anything that's shared is confidential between us. So feel safe. Remember that you're sacred. This is a journey of remembering. Really, just it's about remembering. You are whole, you are perfect, you are divine. So remember who you are, and everything will be coming together for you. So I thought I might just read to you the Moonwash mission statement so that we're aligned with what we're doing here, and just to check in if you resonate with this. But the Moonwash is here to lovingly grow, nurture and weave a women's worldwide web of empowered and sacred feminine women, compelled to align with and be supported by their higher nature and each other. A conscious community which is openly receiving all it needs from life, from the highest good of all, and are therefore abundantly sharing their gifts like sacred fountains into the birthing of new earth. And I can actually put that into the comments, I think, if I get clever here. I'm starting to remember that I used to own a web design agency many years ago and get a bit more up to date. So that's it there. Trust that resonates with you, and that's why you're here. And so welcome to this conscious community where we're learning to receive from our higher nature in order that we're then able to share with others. We can't share from an empty cup. That's what we were taught to do. We were taught to just give. Then we were taught to do. So we're overusing our masculine energy and we're giving away all our feminine energy. So in this community, we are learning or relearning. I am relearning. We are relearning that we are receptive beings. We are receptive beings. We are here to receive higher guidance and to bring that through into the world. We're not here to give feminine energy from an infinite barrel. You know, it has to come from within us to be able to be shared. That's the only way it works. Otherwise, you see women in their 50s starting to get bigger and heavier and more tired and develop illness. And it's because they don't know how to bring in the energy from inside themselves. The Moonwash is for women of all ages, but if I could shout out to women in their 40s and 50s, come! I'm 51 and I'm in the menopause since 2.5 years, and I can tell you that the moon cycle is, you know, I couldn't live without it, without that balancing of my masculine and feminine every moon. Knowing when to be active and when to let go has completely transformed my life over the last 10 years and enabled me to come into a conscious menopause. Touches my heart to be that blessed with the divine feminine information. So to give you an overview then, in this lovely gathering tonight, and excuse a bit of nervousness because I've never had people present, so it's all a bit new. Doing a live, I've talked into camera, but not with other people watching, and maybe, you know, it's not interactive unless you want to comment tonight. I welcome that to ease my nerves. But tonight we're going to be looking at balancing of feminine and masculine. That's our theme. The first part of tonight, I'm going to be talking about the function of the Moonwash. So what the Moonwash is here to do for you. But more fundamentally, it's about, you know, what is the moon cycle here for? All the planets are like, you could say, wheels in a big clock. They're clockwork, and they all do a very different thing for us. So the moon cycle is kind of the ebb and the flow cog, we say. It's an old English word. It's a wheel. If you think about all the planets turning and twisting and doing their thing and helping us grow and helping the plants grow and animals grow and live and die and live and die, that cycle of life is being supported by all these wheels, which is why I have become so fascinated by astrology, because something is doing this to us. We aren't the only planet. We aren't probably the only species. I think that will become apparent in the next 20 years. In the universe, and we're waking up to our connection to other planets and what they're doing for us and what Earth is doing for them equally, because I believe that human evolution isn't just our own transformation. I think we're playing our part in transforming the universe also, and us being able to connect to our higher wisdom as divine women enables us to bring the higher information into the Earth to literally birth the new Earth. We're bringing in higher understanding, higher ways of being, not just women, men as well, and especially children. When you hear them coming up with solutions for plastic in the ocean, for cleaning the water, for different ways of educating, it's coming from people that are connected. They've got something's coming from somewhere else. And every genius that ever lived had their insight while they were dreaming. It's always coming from beyond the mind. We can't solve this problem with the human mind as it is. So the function of the Moonwash is, and I've written a few things down so I get it clear and concise, a sacred life balancing online tool for aligning yourself with the moon cycle and using it to help wash away obstacles in your own journey. I've written in your soul's journey, whether or not you believe in the soul like I do. The moon cycle and this online platform that you're participating in, we're all about washing away obstacles in our path. The way the human mind works is it sees itself separate to the outside world, and that we will be coming to realize over the next 20 years is an illusion. We are all a field of energy, and we're different forms and different vibrating energies, but we're all connected to each other. So we're all wheels in that big clock. So in washing away our perception, we're washing away the obstacles as we start to see things from a higher perspective and respond differently to externals. We see sometimes that it's not even an obstacle. It was totally an illusion in our mind. But particularly, that makes me goose pimple everywhere. But particularly we see that if we ask for guidance instead of just asserting our authority on what we don't want, if we just keep resisting, if we ask for guidance and we go within, especially during the ebb and flow of the moon cycle, when there are very receptive times, you'll come to understand more if you don't already know, because many, many women have woken up to this already. If we open up to receive answers, we'll see a higher perspective on our apparent obstacles and we'll find our way through. And the key is that we have to change ourselves, not our nature. No, we have to change our stuck views and beliefs in order to pass through, almost like gateways. We think they're doors, but actually they're gateways to a new and higher way of us being. And as we respond differently, the outside world responds completely differently to us. And at times we can feel a bit freaked out because that's never happened before. No one's ever responded like that to me before. Who am I if everything's going in this flowing direction? And that's where the transformation really starts to take place. So it's an aligning, balancing tool. And it's all the Moonwash as I've created it, and it all came in a bit of an epiphany one day, as most of my creations have. I have made the moon cycle a a sort of metaphor, I've made it similar to a washing machine cycle. And actually it is, if you think about the ebbs and the flows of the moon cycle every month. Let me turn that music down now, we're getting more technical. It's a little bit like a washing machine in that we receive new energy. You know, the new moon is where everything's low on the planet. And then the waters start to rise on the planet up to the full moon. So you could say it's like an empty washing machine, a full cleansed washing machine, and then the release and the rinse of the old, and the release and the letting go of that held on to stains in the wash. And that's how the moon works on the planet. It's attempting to clean and open us and keep us receptive. And that's what happens in a washing machine. And if you could only imagine that since you were born, say 30, 40, 50 more years ago, you accumulated in your first 10 years of your life a load of dirty laundry up here, and then you didn't know how to let it go. Can you imagine the state of your washing your dirty laundry by now at this stage in your life? And that's ultimately what humans are attempting to do. They're trying to live a beautiful, joyful, abundant, loving life with laundry in their mind, old beliefs, stuck traumas, dedicated to ways of thinking that have kept them safe, but are holding them back, and not knowing how to wash those thoughts away for fear of, well, who am I going to be without those things? Because they're my coping mechanisms. So that's what the Moonwash is designed to do. And we wash our dishes after we've eaten our food. We wash our clothes. We wash our car. We spend a lot of money washing our dogs now. But what about our minds? Still full of laundry from 40 years ago. So that's what the Moonwash is for. It's to help you gently take a look at what's stuck in your wash and to help you dissect that and to become receptive to your higher guidance, to allow you to let those ideas go and receive higher ways of being. Now, as I've said in this invitation, you do not have to be in the Moonwash to work with the moon cycle. But I think in sharing this information of how I see the moon as like a washing machine, it can help you to do this work with or without me. Because otherwise the moon cycle can feel like, well, women do, you know, they go together, they have meetings, they bang drums, they sing and they chant, but I don't get it. You know, is it just a nice shamanic experience, or is it something that I can really, really use in my life? So I think, you know, washing machine, you cannot get a more practical everyday device to make the moon similar to. And this epiphany came to me when I was lying in my garden 3 years ago, asking the question. So again, it's going back to being open to my guidance, asking the question, how can I share the magnificence of the gifts of the moon cycle in an easy way with women around the world? Because I knew it was my mission to help women open and change their minds. And instantly I started staring directly opposite me where my laundry is outside, and my washing machine was spinning, and I just went, oh my God. And I got it, and I ran with a piece of paper and pen to my washing machine and started staring at the dial and realized that's it. And I'd been following the moon cycle for almost 10 years at that point. So I really understood how it worked. I was learning how to open up. I was learning how to balance my male and female without this concept even in my mind. But I was finding it difficult to describe to other people how I worked with it without coming across as I am, as a deeply spiritual hippie living in the north of Ibiza. It's like, actually, I'm also a really practical woman. I ran a 6-figure business. I've lived in luxury in England. I've given that all up because I've had a spiritual awakening and seen the light, you could say. I understood the mechanics of the universe, and I had to I had to let go of my modern life because it was based upon the wrong values. I'm now rebuilding and regrowing based on natural, organic, aligned, clockwork growth. So it's my mission to share this. I can't not share this information. So that covers what the moon cycle can do for us. And if you make space for yourself on a regular basis and you look on Google, or if you're working with me, all the dates are given to you. You just look like, when's the new moon? Okay, that's the empty time. And when's the full moon? Okay, that's the full time. So if I around new moon start thinking about things that I want to put into the moon cycle, as I say, put into the wash, and then I'm aware of those, I write those down, and then I ask my guidance to show me ways through. So I don't say things like, why is this happening to me? Why can't I find a husband? Or why haven't I got any money? Or why is she doing this to me? Not a closed question like that. You're going to start asking things. What's my way through into what you want? So it's about focusing on what you want, not on the negative and what's going wrong. Focus on what you want, and then ask for guidance on how to get there. What you're doing in that process is you're shifting your focus and you're opening to receive what you want, instead of focusing on constantly what you don't want and then wondering why it keeps happening. Humans are so crazy. But nobody taught us this in school, so how does this relate to feminine and masculine? So I like having a little draw and a little play. So I drew something, which I hope helps. And it's a little bit like, it should look like a washing machine, hopefully. And I don't know, yeah, you're probably going to see this back to front. So I can't do anything about that other than get clever with my lettering. So tonight we're talking about balance. I really like the symbol that the Moonwash looks a bit like Instagram. I apologize. I didn't realize that till today. So the way this works is dark moon, or new moon, as it's also known, and we'll go into that in other videos in more detail. The dark moon actually lasts for 3 days. And this is the very feminine side of the wash. Okay, so look at this as a washing machine, but also think about these are actually, they're cosmic energies. So it's not just a washing machine. This is actually what's happening and has been happening for perhaps billions of years on the planet, is that all the waters drop and then all the waters rise. Everything drops, everything rises every 29 days. And you'll see and you'll learn this a little bit more as we meet in future meetings. But I take us round these 29 days. So I'm afraid this is back to front, as if it's clicks of a washing machine in the Moonwash. But you can take yourself through this process from new moon, and then the full moon is usually about 15 days later. You're putting in the wash, and then you're letting yourself receive insights up to the full moon. And then the phase that we're actually in at the moment, which I'd like to sort of talk about now, is this phase here. We're coming into what is called the waning phase. So we've received our illuminated insights. We've been focusing on that which we want, and knowing that in doing that, we're washing away the negative because we're not focusing on it anymore. We're asking for what we want. We're focusing on that. We're receiving higher guidance, and it's coming in. And it sounds crazy to think that this can happen energetically. But in this feminine phase, because there's less pulling up on the planet, everything is more receptive. So it's at this time of the cycle that you can really tune in. Everything gets lower, And if you're scared of emptiness, you can get very tense with it. Whereas the full moon makes us much busier and busier, and there are more accidents, more police reports. It's known fact, Google it. But in the new moon, everything tends to drop. And some people will keep busy because they're not used to emptiness, or they'll just get on Netflix and they can't get off it. You know, it's about choosing to go into the emptiness, because you know in that you're releasing the old and you're opening up to receive the new, to take those old ideas that you're now not focusing on anymore and washing them away by receiving the new you and the new way to operate in the world, up, 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 letting them come up to the full moon where the mind's much busier. But if you're tuning in, your insights will come in stronger. And then, as if in the rinse cycle of the washing machine, after the full moon, I guide you personally, you can do it yourself. You start really reflecting on those insights and thinking, okay, so my higher guidance is telling me to be more in my authority, perhaps. And the reason I've been complaining about being a victim is because I've been being a victim. So I've got to release that victim. So you start in the rinse cycle because you're going to let that stuff go. You don't want to take it into the next moon cycle for another 29 days. Although typically we do, you know, we're human, we hold on to the negative, we can't help it. But you want to, as much as you can, be very aware of that. This is just an example, but aware of that victim self, and keep saying to yourself, I'm putting that in the wash. I'm focusing on authority. I'm focusing on voicing my opinions. And you're journaling and you're talking to friends and you're focusing on the new. And then you empty it, like in the washing machine. Click, click, click. Now we're starting to rinse. We usually put some softener in around here, and I start telling people to be much more self-loving, because it can get tricky when you're letting go of the old. Then you don't know how to let it go. I say to people, it's like when you pick up a burning saucepan, like a hot saucepan, the handle's hot, and you can't let it go. That's what our negative thinking is like. So in these daily clicks through the cycle, I'm holding your hand so you don't go back to the negative behavior, so that you'll then be able to go into the empty cycle, bloop, 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 and then down, back again. And we go round and round and round this wheel. And we've been going round and round this wheel for millions of years, and we will continue to. And you can either go round and round that wheel with your dirty laundry, or you can choose to start washing it away and washing the stains away and revealing a very new reality for yourself. Please, siren. Don't know if you can hear it. Very rare this time of year now. In the summer, it's crazy. I'm in Ibiza, for anyone who doesn't know. So that's why I'm looking hot and look a bit red on this camera, but I'm certainly not red today. I haven't been in the sun. So the feminine and the masculine, and you could also think about the feminine form, the receptive. We're receptive. Think sexually. I'm not going to mention all the names, but think, you know, the feminine and the masculine, and the feminine, and we have both energies inside us. Typically, we're living up here in modern society. Up, 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 up. We don't want to rest. We don't want to relax unless we have a drink. We want more, 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 because we don't really know how to receive, because we're not in our feminine. So we can't enjoy what we have. We can't let go. We can't see the beauty in the tiny, tiny things, because we're focused in the male energy, and the male energy just blocks out receptivity. So yeah, so I've written here the gradual release. So we're in this phase now, so you can tune in with us who are in the Moonwash. Even if you're not in the Moonwash, you can tune in with us now at this time and think about, you know, what am I rinsing away in my life? What did I used to do that perhaps I still keep doing, if I'm honest, because I'm human, and Julie's the same. If she's honest, I'm totally the same. What am I rinsing away in my life? What old behaviors do I need to observe in myself and what higher way could I be operating on, and fixing my attention on that higher way instead of letting my mind just like elastic going back to the negative, back to the negative. We are hardwired to go back to the negative. Why do you think the news is so negative? So we're rinsing away. You could also say this is like autumn and then this is like winter. We've got to let things go. What have I learned? What can I release to make way for the new in the next cycle? And the next new moon, let me just check. I think it's the 27th of September, isn't it? Yeah, the next new moon is the 27th of September. So where are we now? We're the 17th. So we've got 10 days to really let go of some old stuff. Put it in the wash. Put it in the wash. So yeah, comment if you can think of anything you want to put in the wash. For me, it is neediness. I'm a card reader and I love doing my own card readings. And I do an online reading at times. And I've probably in the last month, I've looked 3 times on this website where you randomly receive a card and it's the same card over and over again, and it's neediness. And the higher way is for me to start focusing on communication. And I've done that today and I feel amazing. Doors are opening, people are behaving differently. It's amazing. So got to be aware of what you're letting go of, but also more aware and more focused on what you're working towards and what you want. And that's if you know, energy goes where focus goes. So we wash our dishes, we wash our minds. I wanted to talk a little bit about the astrology of this time. I don't know if you are into astrology, but as I said, when I started following the moon cycle, which was kindly gifted to me as a teaching by a lady that I trained to be an oracle reader with, in 2006, I think it was. She came to visit me in Ibiza and said to me, Jules, I just know you need this information. I printed this out and you have to start using it in your life. And I'd been such a corporate, they used to call me the Rottweiler, because I was such a, I was a sales director. I was very, very driven. And very driven for the highest good of whatever company I was working for, but I was very driven and I could make my way through anything. But I was masculine. I was like a laser beam. And I'd been on this oracle training. I realized I'd found my true self. I felt so feminine, so absolutely terrified of being feminine. But I felt like I'd found my home in the world. And I just didn't know at that point how to bridge the two together. So I went from very corporate to very hippie to then letting go of all my money over 10 years. And now I'm learning to balance. So it's a really good theme for me tonight, especially with equinox coming up on, I think it's next Monday. But I started to open up to astrological things around then. I also had an astrological reading, which is why I'd been put on the oracle training by my astrologer. So I could fundamentally say that astrology is perhaps 35% responsible for where I am now. And on a day-to-day basis, it plays a huge role. I'm not an astrologer. I cannot give astrology readings, but I follow astrologers. And I just love the fact that they all say the same thing about the same stuff that we're all going through. And even if they're interpreting it slightly differently through their filter, the then synchronicity with how I'm feeling compared to what they're all saying is just spot on. And there's an astrologer called Kaipacha. And if you go to my website, goddessa-ibiza.com, and look for the astrology reports, you'll see he's included in there with a lot of others. And I update that as often as I remember to, but often. So it's pretty up to date. Kai-Pacha, I remember I used to think, right, I'm going to test this out because maybe I'm just imagining I'm synchronized. So there came a point where I'd say, I'm not going to watch his weekly YouTube video until I've written how I feel in my diary. And the first time I did this, I'd written in my diary, I said something like, I feel like I'm a car and I've lifted up the front, the bonnet, we say in English. I've lifted up the bonnet and I've got to look at all the pieces underneath in my engine and work out what it is that's going wrong. And I've got to see it from this perspective. And I tuned into Kai-Pacha thinking, okay, let's see. And he said those exact words. That week he said, it's like you're lifting the bonnet up off your car and looking at what's wrong, what needs attention, and treating it like your life is like a car and servicing your life. And I was blown away. And I've had some pretty mind-blowing experiences since then as well. But it confirmed to me, absolutely, we are part of this process. We are in this clock. We are being held. We are being taken through certain stages, and every astrological sign every year takes us on like a domino effect, opportunity to evolve. So, for example, at the moment we are in Virgo, which is, it can be seen as very in the head. It's all about structure. It can feel a bit too much if someone's too much in the Virgo. Let me see if I've got some little notes on here as well in case I forget anything. But we're in Virgo at the moment, and everything we're going through is about, creating new structure, breaking things down, recognizing our responsibility in things. It's just so Virgo. And if you tune in to the astrology reports, either your own, if you already do, then let me know who you listen to, or have a look at some of my favorites on my page. They help you not take things so personally, because you realize we're going through stuff as a collective, and some people are asleep. The more awake you are, the less personally you start to take things, and the more you want to tune in and understand your part of that process and your particular unique guidance on how to bring you through these different doorways. And you could say, like, astrology is like 12 doorways opening through the year, and then every season and every, all the planets have got different cycles. Some only go around every 40 years, every 50 years. So when you're about 29, you get a big wake-up call. When you're 40 to 42, you get an enormous one. I think the next one's about 60, so I'm a little bit safe, apart from I'm in menopause. But I've gone through these transitions, and I can say absolutely the day when something big happened to me. I have an astrology reading, they'll say it'll be this day, and it was that day. You can't make it up. Anyway, so I thought I'd give you a brief update on what they're saying astrologically at the moment, and then hopefully then for the last 15 minutes or so, I'm going to tune in with my goddess cards, which are my little lifeline. They're what I work with. As you can see, they're quite old. I've had these since probably 2006 as well, when all my goddessy oracleness started to happen to me, and I returned to the divine feminine. I'm so grateful to these cards. They were given to me. I think that's the best way to have cards, is to have them given to you, and then you know they're really yours. So for the last sort of 15 minutes, I'm going to tune in and receive guidance for this group, and also for anyone else that's likely to see this in the archives. So even if you want to watch this again in the future, there might be something in there that resonates with you that will just give you that shift. So when we receive higher information like that, it's beyond time, really, because there is no time, really. So these transmissions are just like medicine, and when they need to be taken, they'll be there and ready. So if you want to share this with friends, just the fact that they're not live listening now doesn't mean that they won't receive the guidance or feel like, oh, that seems like it's for me and I wasn't even there. So we'll do that in a minute. So what astrologers are saying at the moment is that we know that we need to change. I think, you know, I live in a bit of a bubble over here, but I think the state of the world, you'd have to be down a rabbit hole to realize that humans are messing the planet up. So I think we're seeing how it's our responsibility. We're doing it. We've done it. The fires in the Amazon are not all wildfires. They're being lit on purpose to clear ground, to raise cattle, because the world needs more and more meat. So we get most of, you know, like I think it's about 20% of the world's oxygen comes from the Amazonian forests. So, you know, you don't have to be a detective to work out that if our needs don't reduce or we don't change our lifestyles, that we actually won't have air to breathe. And I joked on one social media post something about, are we going to have bottled oxygen in the end, like we have water? You know, when I was little, we didn't have to pay for water. Is it going to be oxygen? Are we going to be regretting this on such a level? And I think watching some sci-fi movies, people are prophesying this in their movies, that we are going to be in trouble. The rivers in Ibiza have already run dry, and that's because of overuse. We're now having to drill down 10,000 meters, or I don't know if I'm making that a lot of meters. That's not possible, but a long way down, and we're tapping into water from the Pyrenees. So we can think, oh, we're okay, we can tap down and get that water, but then we're all in this together. You know, if you take away the water, we're actually all joined, aren't we? If you take away the human mind, you'd see we're all joined as well. We've got to take care of each other and stop seeing us as isolated countries and they've got a problem and we don't. It's our global problem. So this is what the astrologers are saying, and that we are beginning to take that responsibility. And those that are taking the time and space to really feel that and to start behaving differently, we're part of the deep collective opening that is gaining momentum. We're readying ourselves. We're not, you know, we haven't got all the insights yet. There aren't enough people collectively joined to shift the greater mass, but we're readying ourselves. Now, something that I know to be true from my own experience, and something that astrologers are talking about, is that at the point of feeling, okay, I'm getting control of my life, I know what I'm going to do, I'm not going to be a victim to life, I'm part of this beautiful planet and I've got a unique reason for being here, and this is something that I love working with people on, is finding out what that is and dedicating time to it so it can start to become your abundance, because it will be eventually once you really start allowing it. But also at the point where you get to that stage of like, oh my God, I know who I am, I'm taking responsibility, okay, you can begin to feel a kind of loss. And I worded it over the last few weeks, I felt a grief. Because in moving on and taking responsibility and truly transforming, you are leaving behind a lot of things. And you're leaving behind, I hope this is light enough for everyone. It's going into sunset outside now. You're leaving behind maybe people, maybe relationships. You're leaving behind old ways of being. You're leaving behind yourself. And some people will love the new you and it'll open doorways and you'll meet new people, but some people won't. And maybe you won't be able to keep lines of communication open. It's really important to stay connected to your guidance on this, because, you know, many times we can stay in connection with people, but we have to learn to be very patient and non-judgmental. And in times of our own transformation, that can be difficult. So forgive yourself for anything that's happening that's negative, but work with the moon, to help you wash it away and receive guidance. So Virgo relates to the Hermit. So it's definitely a time to go within, and it's a time to sort things through. Virgo is also very analytical. Excuse me, I'm not used to talking for this long on my own. So take time to look at your life, a little bit like that, lifting the lid on the car, and have a look at what needs sorting out, and put things to practice. As you get more and more listening to your guidance, you'll be guided on how to do things, so you don't have to feel stuck. But what you then have to do is learn not to procrastinate. So we're also in a time where we can be getting distracted. So it's important now to really start moving and to say, you know, do I want to go round the moon, wash for the next 25 years? Or do I actually really want to start moving? And this happened to me in the last week. And I saw the image in my mind of like a melting glacier. Interestingly enough, that's actually happening on the planet, but I felt it personally. So trust what's happening on the earth, because I think we're all melting, and everything will turn out very differently to the fears we have in our mind. I believe that what's happening is meant to happen. And then astrologically, they're saying that things will really move by mid to end October. So you might be feeling stuck for a little while to come, but keep chipping away, keep knocking away at that rock. There's a diamond in there. Don't give up. Stay divinely disciplined, as I call it. And just think about your daily life. You know, how feminine is your daily life? And if you're in a lifestyle, a career, a business, a relationship where you're under pressure a lot, and your feminine energy is withdrawn, then you've really got to look at that, because you need your feminine energy and you need your receptivity to be able to tune into your guidance. Now, you may not be able to do that while you're at work, but when you get home, or for some moments a day, or for a morning a week, you need to find a way of feminizing yourself so that you can soften and open up to the guidance that's going to help you get through these apparent closed doors, because they're not, they're gateways. But you need your feminine to be able to open things up. When we're always fire, when we're always get this done and go, 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 we're not in a receptive space. It's not saying there's anything wrong with that energy, but we've got to balance it out. So we started today, and you can go back to it if you missed it, with just imagining your feet being like roots on the earth, and just having a few moments every day where you tune into your feet, tune into your sacral chakra and your root chakra, and feel, am I open? Am I open? Is my body tight? Am I fighting the fight? Am I fighting to survive? And if you are, it's because you're in your male and you're not trusting your feminine, through which you can receive the higher way. Now, if this is new to you, join the club. When I started this journey, I was an atheist. I was not raised with religion. My mother is an absolute, like a rock atheist. She thinks I'm crazy for believing the things that I do. And I did for a while. I really did think I was crazy, but now it's grounded in me, and I cannot deny the magic that happens. But it happens through receptivity. So tune in. Can you feel your connection to the earth? Can you feel yourself open like a flower from inside? Then you know how much work you've got to do and how much time you need to give yourself. So you may have been having dreams lately. The full moon was in Pisces. You may be having visions and insights. Take time to integrate those. Journal, meditate, talk to trusted friends, book a session with me. We're moving into the equinox, which is the 23rd of September, when the night and the day are the same. So we're moving into balance for a moment, and then we start going in the northern hemisphere anyway. I don't know where you are, but we will be going into the winter. So deeply and deeply on a seasonal kind of annual level, we're going into that sort of releasing the old and getting really open about the new. Libra, that we go into in October, is actually about initiation. So if you think about the deep dark of winter, the feminine, right at the bottom of the season, that's when the new life actually starts to come. It doesn't come just in spring. We could say spring and summer is that masculine time. Where's my thing? So you could liken this, if you can get your head around what I'm saying, dark moon, full moon, but also winter and summer. New life in any way doesn't start here. When you have a baby, it doesn't start halfway through your pregnancy. A plant in the ground doesn't suddenly come up. There's all these roots, there's all this gestation, there's all this impregnation. So Libra and moving into the winter, this is new fertile soil. So don't fear the emptiness of going into the winter. Be more excited by what can come through if you let go of the old. So that we still have a little bit of time, I'm going to shuffle the cards. Not doing as many readings these days, but I do love them. And I very much enjoy the way that my mind opens and receives information when I do this. And it's why really I know how to work with the moon so well, because in doing readings, you have to just let go of your own mind. You can't possibly know what you know. It's coming through you. And I think, if you're tuning in here, if this resonates with you, you're very likely similar to me, if not more receptive than me. So learning to receive higher information is something that I'm dedicated to and dedicated to sharing. So I'm glad to be sharing this with you. So I'm going to ask the question, why are we here at this time? What is going on for us energetically at this time? What is our work for the next couple of weeks? What is our work? What are we rinsing away? So Yamanya, she is the goddess of golden opportunity. And it's really interesting. I've been talking about these doors, haven't I, opening quite a lot today. And she says, important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. So how do we walk through new doors? We walk through them. And I feel like what this is saying to us is stop focusing on the closed doors. Stop focusing on what's wrong and focus on walking through. So what happens when you walk through into something new? And the image that I've got in my head is someone with a suitcase going on holiday. When you walk into a holiday, you're free of all the pressure, but then you come home and it's all there again. But if you think about it, going through a door in your mind, you can feel like that every day. It just goes to show you, doesn't it, that that's a feeling in the body. We could say, of course, it's based on external conditions. Yes, it is. But fundamentally, we can change how we feel by changing what we focus on. So I love this. And I like the fact that golden opportunity says is G-O, go. Go, go, go through the doors. Stop, for goodness sake, focusing on what's wrong. It doesn't mean to say that on a mental level you're wrong. Not at all. Let's try and get that closer up for you. It may be very true that people are annoying you, that your partner's a pain in the neck, that you don't have the right amount of money, that a project hasn't taken off or you haven't got enough time. Stop looking at that and start focusing on what you want. Feel it, be it, act upon it, and walk through that door. Allow yourself to receive the new you. Even if it's not in your physical reality right now, dream it, be the change, basically, Yamanya is saying. Be the change. Look at that image of her. She's not worrying that there's traffic. You know, there's a big traffic jam here and someone's just hit her car and there's all kinds of chaos. She's like, oh, it's okay. It's okay because I'm here. I'm now. I'm on purpose. The world is beautiful. And everybody, if everybody felt like that and thought like that and directed their minds like that, imagine the reduction of chaos on the planet tomorrow morning. So we didn't have time to get a lot there, but I want to leave you a little bit of time for some questions as well. If nobody's got any questions, I'll maybe do a bit more tuning in and get another card. But I think I still have a few people with me. I think one person's just joined, so I hope they haven't missed the hour session, but it's going to be in an archive. It might not archive immediately, apparently. They say it takes a little while. But I don't think anyone's left me any comments, have they? I'm just going to write and see if I don't think I can actually. I hope no one's written anything and I can't see it anyway, because I really hope that's not true, because I can only see one comment that I've written and then no pop out chat. Let's see. Yeah, I can't see that anyone's written me anything. If you've got any questions about feminine energy, about how to open up during your everyday life, you know, if you've got a really busy life, you can even do this when you're on the loo, when you're making a coffee, or you go out for a coffee break. My goodness, I gave up coffee 3 days ago. I can't believe it. Let's see how long that lasts. But you can make moments to be receptive. And you can ask yourself, what could I be focusing on instead of this problem? You know, I could feel joy right now instead of this. How can I stay focused on joy? Ask the right questions. I love this, the Moonwash, any questions. The whole philosophy of the Moonwash is about asking better questions and focusing on a better outcome. It may be that the universe brings you something even better than what you imagined. So stay really open. Don't be fixed about what you want, but ask for the guided path on how to release what's holding you back. Don't focus on that, as we just saw in the card. Don't focus on the closed doors. Focus on walking through and be that energy. Let me pull another card. I've got some beautiful flower cards here. I thought we might get time for, so I'm going to choose these are one word. I don't have any booklet with these, so I don't know the names of the flowers, but these were given to me. They've worked with so many people. I don't know how many readings I've done in my life, but these cards have probably met hundreds of people, so I'm very honored to have them in my hands. Freedom. What could you be free from now, even if nothing physically changed in your life, by freeing your mind up? Can you imagine? It's crazy what the mind holds on to. Okay. Freedom, golden opportunities. Take your time, release, give yourself time after this to tune into yourself. And for anyone that's in the wash, you've probably already got these written down, but I invite you to think of 3 life areas. Life areas, what do I mean? Health, love, career, for example, that kind of thing. Think of 3 life areas that are problematic for you, and ask your higher guidance for the next few days. What new action or what new guidance have you got for me on cleaning these areas of my life? And in the next gathering, which is about 2.5 weeks ago, take that kind of as a bookmark to the time where maybe some answers will have come through, and put that extreme masculine energy that holds on to bad things, put that in the wash and allow the feminine and allow the new. And in the next video, you can sort of feel into it, like, what have I changed? Have I recognized some shifts? If you want to join the next Moonwash, the next new moon is on Sunday, the 27th of September. You need to really have joined the wash a couple of days before for me to get all the paperwork done for you. I take the few days off before that and I go into retreat mode. So I've got a little offer for you, for anyone that's stuck it out till the end of this video. Thank you. And that is a special offer for the Moonwash. Normally for 3 months, it's a 3-month minimum process, the Moonwash is, because I like to get you in this repetitive model of, it's not going to necessarily go overnight. That's why nature repeats and repeats and repeats. So it might get boring, but I suggest leaving these 3 things in the wash for 3 moons or 3 months. We get more specific with the question and exactly what you want to change and move into, but I say leave them in. So if you want to join, it's normally £117 for 3 months. That's £39 a month. But because you've been so great and stuck out the whole video, I'm going to give you that for €99 for 3 months. So it's £33 a month, which you can pay monthly or you can pay all at once. And to do that, I'm saying join or sign up for the Moonwash by this Sunday, which is the 22nd. So that's a week before the cycle starts. And mention the code Moonwash October Moon 22. Moonwash October Moon 22, and I will give you the discount. You can recommend that to friends. Once you've been in the wash for 3 months, if you recommend a friend and they join, or you gift a friend, you receive the next 3 months free. So some women manage to stay in the Moonwash for a year, pay absolutely nothing. So it really is about the mission of growing a worldwide web of empowered and sacred feminine women, rather than it is about money for me. I know I get by. I've been like a mouse. I often still am. I can live off very little. I know that nature wants to make me abundant again, but it isn't my main goal. My main goal is to share this information, to feel good, to feel connected to you, to feel nourished and soothed, and to nourish and soothe others, and to be more and more my natural self, which I've been terrified to be for so very long. And I'm so more grateful than any physical material thing in the world to be myself. So that's me signing off, a little bit late. So thank you for staying up so late with me. It's 8 o'clock here in Ibiza. I'm sending you so many blessings for the remainder of this moon cycle, the next week or so, for you to walk through those doors, those closed doors in your mind, and step into freedom and believe in yourself. I believe in you. You're an amazing woman. You deserve everything that's waiting to come for you. So tune into your feminine every day. Be receptive. Let yourself feel again. It doesn't have to happen all day, especially if you're working in a male environment, but just give yourself moments, even if it's on the loo. And let me know how it all was for you, and share this with friends. There'll be an archive video. As I say, it might take a few hours or maybe not until tomorrow, but it will be there. And so thank you. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it very, very much. Looking at yourself in a camera is a bit weird, but I've enjoyed it knowing you're there, and there are still some of you there, so I'm so grateful. It's beautiful. I'm going to have something to eat now and spend the evening bathing in this beautiful technology and the fact that we can sit here and share like this. I am seriously considering, for those in the Moonwash, doing Zoom calls so that we can have video and interact with each other as well, as I step back into my old technological self. So news on that coming soon. Thank you, ladies. Peace, light, blessings, abundance to you, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.